comparisons between someone that was worth 5 mil versus 100 mil.
Yeah.
And the guy that was worth 5 mil, someone asked the guy, was like, well, aren't you jealous that you have aren't you jealous you're not worth 100 mil? And he was like, well, no, because I've got one thing that man will never have. What's that? Enough.
5. There we go. The Life is Hard podcast. This is the first episode I've got with a stranger, basically, someone who I don't know from my personal life, which I think is fucking awesome. And that's part of the reason I started this podcast, is to try and like network and meet really interesting people. Do you want to give a quick introduction to yourself?
Yeah, man. So my name's Ryan Herrington. I'm a life and business coach. So what I do is I help people build online freedom-based businesses and help them leave their 9 to 5 and create a freedom life by design. That's what I do, mate.
And I feel like you are currently living your own freedom life now, so you're the perfect one to teach other people how to do it.
Yes, mate. As we speak, I'm literally 2 weeks away from moving to Bali. I've got a one-way flight back to Bali, which I cannot fucking wait for.
One way?
One way, mate. Yeah, one way.
Nuts, I remember we had like a video call for like an hour. This was maybe like a month or 2 ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about it a lot, but one thing you talked about is visualizing. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of your goals that you've got on your vision board, did you call it, is moving to Bali. And now you're actually doing it.
It is, mate, yeah. I think it's something that at the very start of my personal development journey, really got kicked off by a podcast similar to this, talking about personal development, talking about concepts that I wasn't having in person, conversations that I was involved with, and that's the joy of podcasts. You hear conversations that you wouldn't normally have with your close friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, fucking hell, like, this shit's so cool. I was like, these guests are sick. And talking about consciousness, personal development.
Do you remember what podcast it was?
It was called Nourished Life by a guy called Simon Hall. And yeah, the guests were insane. And he was a digital nomad in Bali. This was before I had a business idea. This was before I started my first business.
How long ago was this?
This was about 3 years ago. It was about 3 years.
So 3 years ago you had nothing. Well, not nothing, but you didn't have any.
Working in recruitment. I was a recruiter.
Wow.
I identified as a recruiter. I was in Australia, chasing the corporate ladder, chasing permanent residency, because I got told I was a salesman. I got told I'd be good at recruitment, so that was the mold that I was in. And then,
crazy.
Yeah, listening to that sort of podcast, oh my God, like there's people doing sick stuff up there. I'd love to be able to do that. Didn't think it was possible for me at the time. But then through the journey, it's become clearer and clearer that that's my driving force to live that freedom lifestyle. And 3 years down the line, 2 weeks away from doing it, mate.
3 years isn't even that long. It's like nothing really to completely change your life. Now you're...
There we go.
Yeah, enjoy it, mate.
The beer spilt for anyone listening.
That's all right, mate. I mess this place up so much every day. I look at all this ink stains everywhere. Fucked, mate. Yeah, that's crazy, man. 3 years is really like nothing as well. I think I started my business a bit more than 3 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. It's like nuts. It doesn't really take. If you like commit yourself, it doesn't really take that long to change your life.
Not at all, man. And I remember. So I was on my personal development journey, and losing a lot of weight, going through learning, consuming so much personal development, and when it all really changed for me was the first time I actually wrote my goals down.
Yeah.
And it was when it was in the middle of COVID, it was start of COVID. I was in recruitment, doing really well, earned over 100k my first year, like got onto my top bidders club, smashing it, right? And then COVID hit. So my visa got declined. So I was going for a sponsorship visa. For those who don't know what a sponsorship is, when you're in Australia, in order for you to have a legitimate visa after your sort of working holiday, you have to be sponsored by an employer. So that's what everyone's chasing. Got into recruitment. Yes, sir, I'm a sponsor. Amazing news. Applied for the visa, declined. Right? And
why was it declined? Because of COVID?
No, it got declined because my visa agent fucked it up, basically.
Oh, Jesus.
It wasn't nothing to do with me. It was the application process that got screwed up. And they said to me, don't worry, Ryan, we'll appeal it 18 months' time. You'll get your visa, everything will be sweet. Cool, don't worry about it. Then, a few months later, COVID hit. That really screwed up my industry because I was working in construction.
Right.
And all the construction sites shut down.
Recruiting for
electricians within construction.
Got it.
And then, so I lost about 60% of my income overnight. So all my commission went, so I didn't have any guys out. We had a 25% pay reduction. So I've gone from earning about 110 grand a year to about 50 grand a year. And I was like, fuck.
Still not too bad.
In Australia, it's fuck all, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fuck all. It cost me my living cost, like basic living cost, about $700 a week. Okay. So it didn't need much else. That's rent, food, basic. Not really going out for drinks and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And reading a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I think I've read that one.
Stephen Covey book, really good book. And I was listening to Gary Vee's Crushing It.
You told me, I've read that book now. You told me to get it. Yeah.
What do you think?
I've read it. I thought it was really good.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Definitely motivating to put myself out there on social media and stuff.
Opens your world up, mate. It's like, fucking hell, there's people doing all this. People that literally building a business they love of talking about what they love. And I wrote it down. I was like, I want the flexibility to work anywhere in the world, and I want to help people. No idea I want to be a coach. But I was like, if I get that, I'll be a happy man. I don't need a lot of stuff. I don't like, if I can, because I was so trapped, because I couldn't leave the country, because of the borders were shut, and if I left, I couldn't come back, and because I'd appealed a visa, I couldn't reapply for a visa onshore.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Truly. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't leave. I can't come back. My life's here. So then that's when I was like, all I want is freedom. All I want is freedom because I don't have it. It's been taken away from me now. And when you look at your values, so when you speak about values, it's your guiding system. What you value most is what you do most and talk about most and spend your money on and talk about and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember we touched on this during that cool thing we did.
Because it's so important.
Yeah.
And often values come from voids.
From voids.
So because I had a huge void of freedom, it was never on my mind that I wasn't free. When I didn't have it, given my unique situation, because everyone's situation is different, no one around me was in the same situation as me. Everyone was trapped in some sense, but I was like deep.
Yeah, no one's visas were screwed up and they couldn't leave or stay or whatever.
Honestly,
right.
everyone I spoke to, no one's in the same situation as me. It was a very complicated situation, but that meant I wanted freedom. Then, after that, I was like, okay, how the fuck do I do it? How do I do this?
Yeah, shit.
And then at the time, I just lost a lot of weight. I lost like 23 kilograms in like 18 months.
Oh, nice.
So I lost a lot of weight, got into personal development, built up some more confidence and self-belief in myself that, I can actually do what I set my mind to now. Coaching, I found nutrition coaching. Just lost a lot of weight, people resonate with me because I've lost a lot of weight, so I'll get into coaching through nutrition coaching. And then that's what kicked off the whole business. I was called That Diet Geezer. Yeah.
I like it, that's a good name.
Yeah, I had two business partners. It was That Geezer.
So did this happen in Australia? Were you back in
Australia?
In Australia, yeah.
In Australia, start lockdown. Two friends, That Fitness Geezer and That Mindful Geezer, collectively were with That Geezer. And just trying to help men, body, mind, and soul.
Okay.
Just
the whole package.
Yeah, and shift the sort of perspective on what it means to be a geezer. It's not all about getting on it, scrapping and looking good, like wearing designer clothes. It's more about taking care of yourself and being a good bloke and actually doing what's right and trying to shift that perspective, man. And that was the start of it, and that was start of COVID. Yeah. April 2020.
That's mad. Okay, so your entire business journey started with, well, it sounds like it was like a slow snowball of self-development and self-improvement. Like you're slowly taking care of like your fitness, like you're losing weight over this time, and you started watching these podcasts, and eventually you started this business. But that's how it all kicked off, was the nutrition stuff.
Yeah. So.
And now what you do now is way more, I don't know, general. You've branched out into different areas.
It's just evolved, mate. It's just evolved over time. I think again the level of awareness I had at the time, it was the obvious answer for me. I had a coach to help me lose weight, so I understood firsthand the power of coaching. I was watching James Smith. I was part of James Smith at PT. Really inspiring bloke. And I was watching his videos. I was like, fucking, I could do that. I could do that. Okay. Yeah. So then do
you know the body coach?
Yeah. I had his plan when he had 30,000 followers.
Really?
Didn't work for me. Didn't work for me at the time.
But I see what you mean. It's not doing anything that complicated. It's just doing a couple of push-ups.
Well, that's it. I think I was always struggling my weight. Like I played for Brighton at football when I was a youngster. Played for Sussex at cricket as well. So I'd reached in my mind at the time of my life. I was like I couldn't be any more confident with myself.
Yeah.
And got released from both of them very quickly. Fell into the world of drinking and drugs after college. Well, during college, like a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Lost who I was through that process. Travelled a lot. Just work hard, play hard. Didn't have any bigger vision.
Having a good time though?
Loved it, mate. Loved it. Wouldn't take it back at all, mate.
Yeah.
It's brought me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, I definitely wasted a lot of time in my youth doing that whole drinking, partying thing. I don't think I regret it because it was so much fun.
And that's it, mate.
So I'm definitely having more fun now than I was then.
It's just different
just
fun, isn't it?
Different type of fun. A more fulfilling type of fun.
100%. You've got more meaning now, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
And if you are watching this and you are in that point where you might be enjoying yourself a little bit too much, we all know intuitively when we're doing it, but you don't know what you want to do, enjoy it, but just make sure you're spending the time working on yourself in the meantime, because you neglect it otherwise. But neglected my health for a long time, got a coach, lost a lot of weight, understood the power of it, and then fell in love with personal development, fell in love with the process of growth, started doing nutrition coaching, moved on to fitness behaviour change coaching because I realised that, okay, I'm giving person A and person B the same information, but they're getting completely different results. It's not the information, it's the implementation of the individual.
Right.
And
so that's like going like a layer deeper, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just getting deeper and deeper. As I've gone on, it's got deeper and deeper. Okay. So we look at behaviour change. What is behaviour change? Then that exposed me to sort of life coaching. Life coaching led to mindset coaching, and over time it's developed where now what I do, and it's because of my own journey, is that I help people to find that vehicle to freedom.
Yeah.
Because once I found it, and it took me a long time to find it, everything else came into place. You start looking after your body. You start making better decisions. You start getting into your personal development because you know that in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve, you have to step into that identity of who that needs to be. And all the problems I wanted to solve before are a byproduct of what I believe is the core problem of having purpose, having meaning in your life. And through entrepreneurship, with the material world we live in, that's the only way that I see that you can truly become your best self, because it's fucking hard. It's hard building a business.
Yeah, I kind of agree, yeah. I think running your own business, being your own boss, it's the maximum level of freedom you can have, which I think should probably be the highest goal. And like I watch a lot of like business podcasts, and some people say, well, not everyone's built out to be an entrepreneur. Some people don't want the responsibility, and they'd rather just put it off to someone else. But to that I say, yeah, maybe you don't want the responsibility. I think you should try and be someone that does want the responsibility, not just sack it off. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, mate. And
like, if you're not the type of person that has the confidence or wants the responsibility of running a business, then I don't know, try and make yourself into that person. Surely, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong at all, mate. I think that this is touching on belief systems now.
Yeah.
If I say to you, I'm not an entrepreneur, just like that, you're blocking that path off.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas, if you shift that language and say, okay, up until this point in my life, I didn't believe I was, but who knows, if I give it a crack, I might be.
Yeah.
That's a different story. It's a totally different story. And yeah, people might not want the responsibility, and people might be happy to go to work and switch off at work on a night, and that's a 9 to 5. And look, without those people, the world wouldn't run, because not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Not everyone can have their own business, because there wouldn't be people doing the work. But, and again, this podcast, the networks that we're in, the people that we connect with, and the people that my clients do have that mindset, or they have a glimpse of it, or a spark of it, or an ember that's in there somewhere, and it just needs light, and it just needs some oxygen, because you don't necessarily have to having your own business to be an entrepreneur. If you are looking at a business, I wonder how that runs. I wonder how Steve Jobs does what he done. And you're interested in the business world, and you know you're unfulfilled or discontent, or you know that you're in your job and something isn't quite right. You can't put your finger on it, but you know you're not doing what, you know you're not being your best self, you know you're not really living to your potential. You need to be aware of that, because that's the ember. That's the thing that needs to be nurtured, because it can blossom into something fucking sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, becoming aware of it is the first step.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing data analysis for Sainsbury's in the city.
Yeah.
Just like it's a decent job, would have been well paid after I graduated. And it took me about 6 months there to admit to myself that I hated it.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because as soon as you admit that you hate your job, it's like really painful. It's so much easier to kind of kid yourself along that it's not so bad, and my boss isn't like this person or that person, and I can't explain it. The admission that you're miserable is really painful. It's easier to kind of lie to yourself a bit and get away with it. And it took me like 6 months to tell myself, fuck, I'm miserable. Like, I can't do this after I graduate. I need to start a business.
And mate,
but it's like a really painful realization.
It took me 25 jobs, mate. It took me
Yeah.
25 jobs in about 8 years.
Yeah.
So for you to have in 6 months, again, that's you're grateful for that, because it's got you to where you're at.
Yeah.
But some people never get that. Some people will justify. You could list out every single reason under the sun why you should stay in a job that you don't like. It pays well. It's too risky not to leave. I like the people I work with. It pays the bills.
My boss isn't that bad.
Not that bad. But that's like a hard
I've had
life
worse
hard
bosses.
lived, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you shouldn't, again, it's just about settling. So you shouldn't settle in a job because it pays you well enough. And it's that either or mentality. It was like, well, I don't really like it, but it pays me well.
Yeah.
You're choosing, that's either or. You're choosing well paid instead of liking. Whereas in entrepreneurship, you get both. You love what you do, and you get paid well for it.
Yeah.
You get paid more. But it's that people just, again, they just justify that's something to themselves, that it's too risky, what if I fail? And this comes into the belief system again about what we said a minute ago. Are they an entrepreneur? I'm not an entrepreneur. But you could be if you chose to give it a go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lot about, like, human beings love their comfort zone as well. It's just easy to do what you've been doing for the past year or two.
Yeah.
It's really hard to break out of that cycle. Really hard. And I think that's what we spoke about a lot on, like, our first video call.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident as long as I keep pushing myself outside my comfort zone, good things will keep happening. Because that's like, I don't know how to explain it. This is why I need to do a podcast. I'm not that good at articulating myself.
Man, I think you do a good job, mate.
But there's like a boundary of like your competency, right? I don't know. And the only way you get more competent is you push yourself outside that comfort zone.
100%.
Which is painful to do.
Yeah.
But you have to.
And
really. You don't have to, you can.
Well, you don't have to, as long as you don't. But that's the thing, right?
Yeah, you don't have to.
When you're looking at growth as a concept, it's something that I sort of come up with in my head. It's like people's attachment to failure and discomfort. It's like, okay, if I put myself into that discomfort and it doesn't work, what's the point? But just switching your relationship with failure, like for you, it's like you don't see failure, you just see growth. Either way, whatever happens, whether it works out as I'd hoped or it doesn't work out and it completely fucks up, doesn't matter. Because what you've had to do to go through that process, you've had to make a hard decision, you've had to then experience the discomfort that goes with it, and then on the other side of that, when things kind of level out and you can look back and reflect on it, you're a completely different person. You've grown in so many capacities that as you get used to that, it becomes you have to do it. And then once you become accustomed to that feeling, you seek that because you are discontent. Like, because when you become it's almost an obsession like, with growth and as a human. And that's why business is so good, because you are constantly challenged within your business. If you are growing a business, you are consistently having to put yourself into that growth zone.
Constantly, yeah.
Because your business won't grow. They go hand in hand. The person at the top of the business is the one that's leading it forward. And that's why, again, like we go back to that, how entrepreneurship is such a great personal development thing that you can do, because you don't have anywhere to hide. It's you at the end of the day.
So, like, how did you ignite that personal development spark? Would you say it's the pain of what was happening in Australia when you were so trapped? Was it like a low point that like pushed you to?
So that was a turning point, and that was sort of the build up to everything that I've been doing. But it all started when I hired my first coach, mate. Like I got to about 18 stone. Yep. So like from that.
This is your nutrition coach, your fitness coach.
Yeah, he was an online personal trainer. Yeah.
Online personal trainer. Okay.
So I went to college, just got on it, party, didn't really care about my education. My dad would never push me down that route. Tried loads of different jobs, travelled a lot, and then really like had put on a facade about I was this like cool guy, this loud extroverted guy. And then one day, got on the scales, and I was like fucking 18 stone, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, again, that admission. It's like, I can't keep lying to myself.
Yeah.
I am fat now. I'm not this person, I'm not this fucking sportsman, this athlete that I used to be, which I pretend I am. I'm fat, I'm overweight. And that was the threshold for me. That was the point of pain. And when we look at change, everyone has a threshold that they will reach physically, emotionally, financially, psychologically, that they will reach to the point where they know they have to change.
Right.
And if you don't reach that, you're going to think it's okay. So you got to the point in your job.
So that's kind of like almost like a rock bottom type thing.
Rock bottom, yeah. Everyone's is different. It's a very subjective thing, and it can happen in so many different ways at different areas of your life, from work, relationships to fitness, loads of different stuff.
I made like a kind of like a video on this recently. I was talking about ego, where I was debating with my mate whether it's good to have a big ego. I think it is, because if you've got a big ego, your rock bottom's pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was saying, like, if I notice myself even getting like a tiny bit chubby in the mirror, I can't stand it. Like, I'm immediately in the gym and just like sorting out my diet and everything. So I think you're right. People have thresholds on a different level.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, like, it does come back to ego. Like, some people might have looked at me, "Oh, you're not fat, mate."
Yeah, people would say
it's subjective. But for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm a shadow of the person I used to be.
Yeah.
Because of my ego. I had a massive ego, mate. And I know some of the stuff I've done was because of ego. And you wouldn't put yourself in situations because of pride. And pride is ego. Like, and ego's good and bad, mate. Like, it's within the male culture, it's a dangerous thing sometimes, ego.
True.
Pride and ego are a dangerous thing, but also it is the reason why men are naturally prone, the masculine energy that men have to be successful, to push on, to strive forward, to not settle in their job and earn money and just push. That's ego. So that's a good thing. But then if you can't look yourself in the mirror and hold yourself personally responsible for your actions and your mistakes, then that can be a bad thing as well.
Yeah, okay. So that's when ego gets in the way. Like, nothing's my fault, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's like the dark side of ego.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. Everything in moderation, and too much of one thing I think is bad.
Yeah,
always.
mate.
But
balance, isn't it?
That's an interesting thing about like pushing though. So I'm kind of at a point now in my business, I wouldn't really have to work that much if I don't want to.
Yep.
And it's like recently, like the past couple of weeks, I've been just like not partying, but I've been drinking a lot and like relaxing and socializing a lot. Mm-hmm. And the question I ask myself is, do I need to just push really hard? Like, I know if I quit the drinking and really sorted myself out, I could take my business to the next level pretty easily.
Yep.
But there's nothing I want to really buy that I don't have. Like, obviously a super yacht would be nice, but I don't fucking need it. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? Should you just be pushing for more just for the head of it? I don't know. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain my question.
I know what you mean, though, mate. And it's that massive thing, like push, go.
Yeah.
But what's it for?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can't remember what it was. I heard it yesterday. And it was something about, the comparisons between someone that was worth 5 mil versus 100 mil.
Yeah.
And the guy that was worth 5 mil, someone asked the guy, was like, well, aren't you jealous that you have aren't you jealous you're not worth 100 mil? And he was like, well, no, because I've got one thing that man will never have. What's that? Enough.
Yeah, it's kind of the question.
When is enough enough? And it's as a male, because we're so driven to chase things and strive for more, it's a very difficult thing. But then again, if you look at the business world, it is male dominant because that's a natural male thing.
Yeah.
To strive and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going.
I really think a deep part of it is just because you're trying to impress girls as well.
Yeah, mate.
The same
100%.
way if there's a girl watching in the playground when you're 5, you're just trying to sprint so much faster.
What to do, mate? Yeah. So, I mean, males like.
It's true. Yeah.
Like we are. That's the way we're wired, man. And again, it's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. But I think coming back to your question, mate, like.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm super rich, but like I have enough to live.
Yeah.
Now, like I don't. What do you actually fucking need? Nothing really.
Well, that's it. And then that you're at the point now where most people will never believe that you can get to that. Yeah. Where you think, oh, I've got enough money, but there might be something still missing. When that goes back to like everyone chases money, but that's an empty pursuit, which you're kind of feeling right now because you've got to the point where like you have enough money to kind of live the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah. I mean, like a Rolex and shit, that would be nice, but I don't think I want it enough to fucking grind my ass off for another year. Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice, but I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't fucking know.
It's all subjective, man. But then as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, like if you're doing it for a personal win, or it represents the hard work you've put in, do it, man. Spend the money. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the way of you manifesting in like the material world a win or a reward for yourself. But if you're doing it because you think you need it to feel a certain way, to impress certain people, then that's you shouldn't be doing it like that for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're wearing it because you think you should wear it, because your mates wear it, you don't feel adequate, you don't feel validated unless you wear a rollie, that's not the right reason, because you probably fucking can't afford it.
Yeah.
You'll buy it when you can't afford it. But if you think, right, I'm going to graft, when I hit my first 50k month, it's a real benchmark for me that I'm going to buy myself a rollie as a symbol.
To myself.
I fucking earned that.
Yeah.
I fucking earned that. It's not for it's not for anybody else out there. This is for me, this. But then it goes back to about meaning and purpose. Do you have meaning and purpose in your life? Because then that's a completely different story.
Very true. Okay, fuck, a lot. But I want to take it back to you. I want to hear about I want to hear more about your business. So you started off the nutrition stuff, then you slowly developed. What's the current evolution? Right now you're doing super broad.
So everything that I've learned and all the sort of the 3 years that I've been hustling and grafting and putting money into my business and making sacrifices, that I've learned so much about the online space and what it takes from a mindset perspective to be successful and to develop that entrepreneurial mindset where you know that if you carry on long enough, you will get to where you want to be, building self-belief, building confidence, building certainty, breaking down your fears, breaking down your limiting beliefs, but then also having the business strategy to escape your 9 to 5 and to build a purpose-driven business, because everybody has meaning and purpose in their life. And it sounds like a fluffy woo-woo concept to some people, but I believe that as well. I thought it was all bullshit. Very stuck in my own ways, very sort of UK male mentality, no like woo-woo, but it's a load of bollocks, right? When I found it, I felt like my stars aligned. And I was like, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying that. I feel like my stars aligned. And since that moment, I've been obsessed with it. It's shaped my life.
That purpose for you is what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Helping other people. Find their purpose.
Helping people. For me, again, it's for like the freedom thing. It's like I'm striving and investing into myself to build as much freedom in my life as possible. I want to work when I want, work with who I want, work wherever I want, do whatever the fuck I want with the people I love to do it with. But that's what I want, and that's what I'm striving towards. And I know that it's attainable. And there's so many people that don't believe that's possible for them, because I believed it wasn't possible for me. And with the right guidance, support, strategy, and all these other things that I've learned and developed and implemented, anyone can have it.
Yeah.
And the process that I take people through is not about... So like people often think when it comes to sort of online business that you need to start an e-commerce store, or you need to start dropshipping
from AliExpress,
Amazon FBA, or trading. All these things that require skills that you don't have. 9 times out of 10, you don't have the skills. You might have some transferable skills. Data analysis obviously would have helped you in your, so it's transferable in some sense.
But the raw skills, nothing.
No,
I knew nothing.
No. Whereas with the nature of the business, and listening to Crush It, you can create a business of anything, mate. Anything you're passionate about, you can create a business of.
So is that like generally the type of businesses you try and teach your clients to start, like a passion-based Gary Vee type business? Just record what you love doing and put it out there, and eventually you'll get the following.
There's so many different ways you can do it, mate. And again, like me and you, we were at a point where when we heard that message, it clicked because we've got to it. We've done enough preparation to be like, oh fuck, okay, I need to do this if I want to get to where I want to be. So a lot of people will hear that and think, I can't put myself on social media. Fuck that.
I recently started doing it. It's quite scary though. Every time before I used to make a story, I'd be like showing it to my friends, oh, can I post that? Can I post that? But now I don't give a fuck. But like, it is scary at first.
Really scary, mate. You've got to fight a lot of battles.
Do you have that fear as well?
Mate, 100%, mate. I look back at my videos and I'm like, so basically.
Yeah, I used to watch them all 10 times. Like, is that right? Yeah. I don't really give a shit now anymore. It's funny.
And it's that thing, mate. That discomfort that you'd feel by someone maybe judging you.
Yeah.
What's more important? You creating the life you want, or that feeling of discomfort, hearing that, that prick's never going to say anything to you.
No.
He might think for 30 seconds, oh, he looks like a fucking idiot. But you don't even know. And who gives a fuck? Because you've got to think, okay, what is more important to me? That bloke saying that, me putting myself in exposure to fear of judgment. And it's difficult for some people that have been exposed to judgment, failure, rejection, more so than other people. They're going to find it more difficult. But it's still, the answer's still the same. The only way that you can do it to get to where you want is by doing it. It's by doing it. It's by taking action.
So true.
And that's the thing, man. Like, and this is what I help people with, because it's all well and good. And I know firsthand, I've had the strategy. That's all you've got to do, mate. Just do this. I would procrastinate every fucking day, or every reason under the sun, not to do the one thing I need to do. And I didn't know why. It's because I had internal blocks of my life, my experience I've been through, that would subconsciously stop me from doing them, and I wouldn't know why, and then that would be frustrating for me. I'd be frustrated.
Right.
And then where I was to where I wanted to be was miles apart. And then I was in lack, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. Am I enough? I'm not where I want to be. And if you can flip that, and it takes a bit of work, but think, okay, my life has brought me to where I'm at. I've made decisions, some of them good, some of them bad. I am where I am. I can't change any of that. But I can only, this is it, right? Push myself out of my comfort zone every day, every week, every month. And everything's the unknown. My goal, I know where I'm trying to go, but I'm doing everything I can. And that's all you can do. And your perception of your journey then, you're like, I was saying to one of my clients the other day, it's like when you get like Pokemon or get RPG games and the map, right? You've got the map and it's like, the map's, you can't see the map, can you? You can only see where you've gone.
The unknown areas. Yeah.
And in business, like all you're doing, you're pushing the unknown. Every time you go out there, you're learning stuff you can bring home. And then your journey, you're at the forefront of your journey versus, oh my God, I'm so far away from where I want to be. And then the joy you get from the journey is totally different.
Got it. Okay. So I've got 2 questions.
Yep.
One of them is, I'm just trying to work out for someone listening. So you help people to like live their dream lives. What's the one thing they struggle most with? Or like even what's the difference between someone who's not living their dream life and then someone who's not living their dream life but reaches out to Ryan Herrington for help? What's that difference?
Permission.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Permission to believe it's possible for yourself. Because if you do not believe, so permission and self-belief.
Even getting to the point where you're willing to get like a coach like you.
Yeah.
So that's a big step from not willing to get a coach.
100%.
So how do you bridge that gap?
So quite often it will be pain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course.
It will be, oh my fucking God, I can't stand my fucking boss.
Okay, like you with when you were overweight, 18 stone.
You reach that threshold. Everyone's got that threshold.
Got it.
And it might be you have an argument with your boss. You might lose your commission. You might get sacked. with the nature of it, with where we're at, where I'm helping people that are in a job that they don't really want to be in,
Yep.
versus starting their own business. That gap is that point that you get to. I can't fucking do this anymore. You've been there. I've been there. Everyone else has been there that has their own business. I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not an overnight thing, but it's that point where, like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to make it happen. It might be 6 months. It might be a year. It might be 2 years. But I am only got one shot at this, and I am going to make the best of it. And I'm not going to spend it feeling unfulfilled, discontent, and miserable in a job that I don't have to be in.
Yeah. Have you ever met anyone that loves their job? Genuinely. I'm trying to think.
As in like a 9 to 5 job?
Yeah, like an actual, like a job.
Yeah, mate.
You have met people that love their job?
Yeah, I do. And that's the thing, right? People listening to this, there might be people thinking, shut up, Ryan, like, I love my job. Right?
Yeah.
Fine, mate. Good.
Yeah,
lucky
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Lucky you, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you are in that position, consider yourself fucking lucky. Because 1 in 3 people right now hate their job. 1 in 3.
Is that from like a...
That's statistic, right?
Yeah, okay.
And that's not even letting alone the other people that admit it to themselves.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's people that actually admit it. And you know full well that people don't want to admit it because the mirror, being shown the mirror of what they're actually, is painful.
Painful.
So that's probably a lot bigger than what it actually is. So people think they're alone. Oh, no, I don't love my job. It's all right. It pays the bills. What else am I going to do? And they don't give themselves permission to think, you know what? I don't know right now, but I'm going to fucking learn.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I think what can be bad as well is if your job's fucking awful, then it's easy to quit and look for something better.
Yeah.
But if your job's, you hate it, but it's just about bearable, well, you could do that for the next 40 years if it's just about bearable.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you'll justify it to yourself.
Exactly.
It's a good paid job. Probably couldn't do anything else. And a lot of the biggest thing that holds a lot of people out is fear of failure. If you don't start, you can't fail.
Mm.
So actually sitting down to do the work, if you don't even try, you might want to do it, but if you don't try, then at least you don't have to admit to yourself you failed. And the only way you fail is by giving up. If you just say to I'm just not going to give up. And that's the thing. I've met a lot of people in the nature of what I've done in mentorships and in person that have started a business or wanted an idea and just ended up going back to their job.
Okay, yeah. But that happens a lot.
A lot of people,
yeah.
And then the one difference for me, people say to me, still going at it. I was like, I'm fucking too right now. Because I know that
it's good.
I don't have a choice. Because I'm never going to be happy.
That's how I felt. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah. I'm never going to be happy in a job. I know that about myself. I'm self-aware enough to know that. So giving up and stopping isn't an option. And if you don't give up, you can't fail. Because it's just feedback along the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's the exact same for me. I felt like I didn't have a choice. I was lucky. Obviously I was doing my internship. I was going back to uni for 1 year.
Okay.
So I had the goal, I need to get a business profitable by the time I finish uni, I don't have to get a job. And the pain in my mind of having to get a job is so strong that I just work non-stop, like relentlessly.
And that's what it takes, mate. It does take hard work. But again, that pain that you had, it's like, again, we're wired to move away from pain rather than towards pleasure.
Yeah.
So you've got two directions, towards pleasure or away from pain.
Negative emotions way more prevalent in the human brain.
Because we're designed to survive, we're not designed to thrive. We're designed to run away from danger. We're not designed to thrive and live happy, we're literally designed to survive.
Yeah.
So over the course of the years that we've developed evolutionary psychology, we're way more likely to take action when it's to avoid pain.
Yeah. And that's why I think I don't work as hard as I used to, because I know I'm not going to have to get a job, so that pain just isn't there really.
Yeah.
But
I think when we spoke, wasn't it? It was about like sparking that passion again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sparking
it was
that
about
passion, having that bigger vision. But like, okay, like if you're looking, it's like a graph, isn't it? If you're looking on a day-to-day basis, you can be up and down. But if you zoom out, your trajectory is just up.
Yeah.
It's easy to focus on being in a rut or feeling your emotions and being like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, am I doing the right thing? Self-doubt creeps in, fear, all these negative emotions creep in that can deter you. But if you zoom out, you know that it's just part of it. You're way more likely to continue and succeed.
Yeah, I completely agree. And okay, so there's one thing I always want to learn about businesses, and which I think is the hardest part, in my opinion, about any business, is like the fucking marketing. How do you get clients? Because for me, I think every business is, the marketing is like, you could have a really good song, and my mates have told me I've got this really good song in the past, and it's like, to me, it's like, well, the song doesn't fucking matter if you don't know how to market it.
Or is it like the best
It doesn't matter how
you're the best kept secret. You feel like you're the best kept secret.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that type of thing. Like,
yeah,
how does
so
the marketing for your? Do you run paid ads at all?
I don't
Is
run
it all
paid
organic?
Ads. It's
no
all
paid
organic
ads.
right now.
Okay.
It's all organic
Yeah,
right
good.
now. Marketing's been a big thing, mate. It's been like, with the nature of what I do, where it's a personal brand.
Yep.
We were speaking about this before we jumped on, weren't we? How you have to put yourself out there. You personal brand with a coach. You are the brand.
Yeah.
And it was,
so where do you put yourself out? Just Instagram, Facebook? Is it everywhere?
Instagram, Facebook. I try to do TikTok. Again, it's a balancing game, isn't it? It's juggling 1,000,001 balls. And you've always got attraction marketing, which is doing your content, putting your message out there, attracting your tribe, and then outbound. And something that
What's outbound?
Outbound is when you're going out, connecting with people, you're finding
in the real world.
In the real world, online space, obviously online space.
Got it.
You have access to so many more people, like Facebook groups. There's so much, and this is one of the things that I struggled with for a long time, was that I would be so concerned about the people in my immediate environment.
Yeah.
That I would almost have my blinkers on to the online space, to these people that I didn't know, but my dream clients out there. They're all out there. There's fucking so many people in the world. They are out there, but you have to have that vision and like awareness of finding those people. And with the nature of what I do, from a coach or consultant, it is very much thinking, okay, you've got two sides. You've got inbound and outbound. So inbound is the attraction marketing, you showing up, living by your values, showing people what you can do, versus the other way of connecting with people, because people don't want to admit they need help.
Yeah.
If you're just relying on people to raise their hand and say, okay, especially with what I do, life and business coaching, it's not sort of an e-commerce business. Yes, I need help. It's a very hard thing to do for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can offer people help, to start with, it's a much easier way to get business, because you're not just stood on the side of the street saying, work with me. You're actually proactively going out there and serving the marketplace, providing value to the marketplace, helping people, and the more impact you create, the more income you get.
Yeah, I agree with that. So are most of your clients local? Are they worldwide? Is it like everywhere?
So they're all over.
I mean, you're moving to Bali soon, so I guess they must be pretty
because
worldwide.
I started obviously in Australia, so I'd have clients sort of in the UK and Australia. Right now it's just UK and Australia right now. But I've got big plans, mate. I've got very big plans. Like, my business is, I'm launching my brand new program very soon.
The entrepreneurship one.
Yeah. So it's going to be called Cultivating Coaching Academy. So it's all about elevating your mind, elevating your business, and elevating your life. Because there's so much knowledge and wisdom in the world. I want to build a coaching academy where, again, it's like you're elevating, you're leveling up in every aspect of your life. And that's the grand vision. The grand vision is to build Elevate Coaching Academy into a place where men and women can get the tools, strategies they need to elevate their mind, elevate their business and their life. Because I think...
So is that going to be like an online course? Is it going to be like a monthly subscription type thing?
Online platform, yeah. So
online
we'll build
platform.
out different courses. We'll eventually build out a low-cost subscription fee. So I want to help people that... So my product my service right now is high ticket. But there's a lot of people that won't be able to afford the service that I provide, but that I still want to help.
Yeah.
So eventually, again, it comes with time. Moving to Bali, I'm going to get way more time back to build out.
How much you charge? Would you share or not?
Nah.
Wouldn't share. No worries.
Nah. To provide people with access to these resources that I can get in a way that's much more affordable to them. because it's there, mate. It's there.
I think the idea of building out like an online platform for educational, for like life coaching and that is a fucking brilliant idea. Because especially with the way universities are going, the online education space is booming, man. It's exploding, and I think it's like correlating with the decline of the universities.
Is it? Yeah,
absolutely. Like you don't even need a degree to work at Google now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
they don't even care because I don't know. Just like almost everyone's got a degree now, and they're worthless.
Value, isn't it? Yeah.
Like the uni I went to, I did maths. There were people on my course that failed maths A level, and the uni just lets them in. They get great grades because the exams are so easy. Because all they care about is the money.
Yeah. Apparently, it's going up to 24 grand a year now.
Can't be.
Apparently, that's what I got told recently. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
But someone told me 24 grand a year. But this is the thing as well. Like,
that's crazy. But I don't know. I think the online education space, man, it's booming.
Massively,
it's
mate.
A great
and I'm self-educated, mate.
Yeah.
I fucked up at college, mate. I've done well at I've done well at GCSEs, like 4 A's, 4 B's, and 2 C's. Didn't try.
Yeah.
Everything came easy to me at that age. And then the second I had to try was just when I started getting in, just drinking and partying. All the inhibition I had for any sort of education, because I came out of school with the assumption I knew everything I needed to know, ego, naive, ignorance, right? And I identified, I'm not an academic. I can't do independent study. I'm a salesman. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And I blocked that off. And it wasn't until I started losing weight again and getting that sort of self-belief in myself, and I picked up a book, and I was like, fuck, this is actually sinking in. And I'm talking to people, and I'm regurgitating things that I've heard, and I'm like, where the fuck did you learn that? And I'm like, oh, I've read it in a book. And it kept happening, and it kept happening. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a clever cunt, I am. And I was like, because I was passionate about the thing I'm learning about. And that was such a thank to the people. And I know so many people, I'm not good at this, I'm not techie, oh, I'm not very smart, I don't know business. Because at school, you have to learn this. You don't want to learn it, you're told you need to learn this. Whereas if you're actually engaged in what you're trying to learn, then it sinks in.
Easy.
It comes easy. And that's the thing about like what I do in my business. What do you like? What do you know a lot about? Because if you know a lot about it now, you naturally like to learn about it. You will know more about a topic in the world than 90% of the people. 90% of the population about one topic. It might
that applies to anyone, you mean?
Yeah,
anyone.
everyone. It might be football, it might be makeup, it might be organisation, it might be...
video games.
Anything, mate. Anything. And if you can understand that you can monetize anything, really, through the power of social media and the way the world is now, and you don't have to learn these skills, you have to learn some skills that you need, like basic business skills, but you can learn anything you want. If you are passionate about it, and if you create enough value to what you're learning, for example, if you want to create this business, you know that, okay, this is an essential skill in order for me to get that. I might not love learning about it, but I know why I'm learning it, and I'll learn it because I know it's the essential part to get me here.
That's true. So, do you read a lot of books then?
I do read, I listen to a lot of books. I think
Audiobooks,
Audiobooks, man. I'm on about 26 days of listening time now.
Wow.
Yeah,
bad,
so like, that's one of my proudest
achievements. That was about my playtime on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You're slightly more productive.
I've invested about £30,000 into my own personal development and business now.
Really? I was really, for like the first 2 years of my e-commerce career, maybe 3, I was really reluctant to spend money on any type of coaching. And I don't really know why. I used to see all these people on YouTube running big stores and making money, and they would offer coaching. I always used to just think it was a scam. Maybe it was a little bit of jealousy, maybe a little bit of bitterness. I didn't want to believe. But now recently, since like, I don't know, January, I've started paying for more coaching. And like my business has like doubled in like the past 3-4 months. Just
That's
from
the power
coaching.
of coaching, man.
Yeah,
The power of accountability. And the world is very skeptical of coaching. There's a lot of cynicism around it.
But there are scammers out there as well.
Absolutely.
So
it's the same as everything, right? Everything's got people that aren't in it for the right reasons. Unfortunately, the majority of people don't see the value to coaching because of how much skepticism there is around it. Because a generation ago, our parents, there were so many scams that you talk about, you look at something, you'd ask, don't do that. got to be careful about that. There's a very negative connotation to coaching. And then when you taste the power of it, it blows your world open.
Straight up.
It blows your world open because all the information in the world is there, right? The information is everywhere. You don't need information, but you need the guidance to say it's organised information and a way that you can implement it where you're at in the journey and being held accountable to do the things you won't do without it. We all know it's hard to do the things that we know we need to do.
Yeah.
And with business and with any sort of coaching, you are booted out of your comfort zone.
Straight up, yeah.
You're kicked off the edge. And it's like, okay, you feel that resistance. Well, fuck, I have to do it. I've just paid this geezer X amount of money. I value my money. I value the hard work I've had to put into earn that money. So I'm going to do what he says, regardless of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And then that through inspired action and through organised implementable information, like I don't need to worry about step 10. All I've got to worry about is the next step in front of me that my coach has told me to make. And then trusting that they're providing the right information to get you to where you want to be. And it's been a game changer for me.
That's the hardest part of the trust thing. If you can find a good coach,
you're never gonna hire a coach you don't trust. And I know that from a marketing perspective, right? I can't get a client, if they trust me, they're never going to pay me.
Yeah.
They're never going to trust me with their goals and their life and their results because they don't trust me. And it's such an important part. And then that just comes back to just being the delivery, like just being like actually fulfilling a promise that you want. So I've got like a 90-day launch guarantee in mind. So if you don't launch a business, I'll work with you for free until you do. But I'm that confident in it, and I put that much into it that I will do that because I know for a fact, if you follow what I asked you to do, you will launch a purpose-driven business in 90 days, and you'll be fucking buzzing about it.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% certain of that. No inch of me that doubts that. But then that's what takes people to the level.
And this is the thing about the coaching world, though. What do you do? Do you want another beer?
That's right now, driving.
What do you do about clients? Like, how long do you have time-wise? I don't know how long we've been talking.
12 weeks. The new program coming up is 12 weeks.
But what do you do about clients that just don't listen to you? 'Cause that's the problem. You must get that.
Yeah.
You can give someone all the information you need if they don't act on it.
But then there's personal responsibility. As a coach, right, I can't let myself off or my clients that easy because there's a reason why they're not doing it. And why mindset and the work I've done and the personal experience I've had, it's not because they don't want to do it. It's because they've got a subconscious program that is making them self-sabotage or procrastinate or something. They've got a block somewhere that why they're not doing it. They know they do it, but they're not doing it. And I can't just ignore that. That's my job as a coach to like, okay, let's figure it out. I haven't got enough time. I haven't got enough time. What do you mean you haven't got enough time? What have you been doing? Talk me through your week. This. Okay, so you've got time here, time there. Why didn't you do it? You've got a block. You might have, like for me, right?
Yeah,
I'll be transparent here.
Like a lot of e-commerce, mentorship, coaching things, it's like, we'll tell you what to do. If you don't do it, boom, you're off the course, we're keeping your money. But for you, it's like, if the client doesn't do it, then from your perspective, there's a reason we need to overcome that.
Absolutely, mate. And that's
a good way to do coaching, to be fair. I mean, in fact, it's the perfect way.
But if I paid a load of money, mate, and I've done it. I've spent fortunes on courses, and I haven't done the work, and I've given this geezer $5,000, and I haven't got any clients from it.
Yeah.
And I know how that made me feel, and that just reaffirmed the negative thoughts I had about myself and my business. I never give up, but I know that some people are like, oh, if you don't do it, it's your fault, right? But it's, for me, and the reason why I do what I do is because I've experienced it all. And I know that it's not through lack of want, because you wouldn't have invested in the first place if it was lack of want. There's some subconscious event, something that's happened to you that is holding you back and preventing you from taking the necessary action. For me, it was fear of rejection. And this is the first time I spoke about it in a public forum. when I got rejected from Brighton, huge rejection, right? I didn't realise it at the time, but my dream shattered in an instant. Then I got
When you
released.
say Brighton Uni?
Brighton Hove Albion. I played
okay,
Brighton. I played for them for like 3 years as a youngster, but I grew up thinking I'm going to be a footballer. My life was football. I was looking at Peter Schmeichel was like my idol, and that bang rejection. Then I played for Sussex at cricket. Got released, bang, another rejection. And there's other things that happen. It's like rejection. So for me, as an individual, Ryan Herrington, my experience, rejection has been something that I will avoid subconsciously. Any opportunity to avoid it, I'll avoid it. Because how your subconscious works, your conscious thoughts are 5%, your subconscious thoughts are 95%. Like, that's what determines you, right? And it wouldn't matter how much I tried, I would not reach out to anyone. Because if I put myself in that situation, they said no, I'm rejected. So I'd be busy doing fluff, doing everything I could do where I was busy working, but not actually pushing the needle forward.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I needed to do to really grow my business, I wouldn't do, because subconsciously I wouldn't want to expose myself to rejection because I've got a wall up against that. And it wasn't until one of the coaches I worked with helped me process that, going through a process that I now have in my program to overcome that. And I'm fine now. I can speak to anyone.
Okay, that's crazy. I want to ask you like how you address that. 'Cause that's super interesting. But I also really need the bathroom.
Okay,
Is
all
that
good.
right?
All good, mate.
Also, I might just check the audio's working fine.
Yeah.
Fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had a quick break. What was I going to say? Yeah. I had one question. So the thing that was holding you back was that fear of rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, that's quite like a deep issue. I would have no idea how to go about fixing that. Recognizing the problem is hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like fixing the problem is even harder.
Yeah.
Or is it, when you recognize the problem, are you most of the way there to fixing it?
This is why it's very hard to coach yourself.
Yeah.
I know what it was, didn't
Yeah.
know how to solve it, right? And so it's a really good question, because how any sort of fear works, right? Let's say you've got two axes, so like that, right? You've got positive and negative. Oh shit.
That was, might just screw that thing to make it tight. There you go.
And you've got past, present, future. A fear is a future projection of a past shame or guilt. Okay? So when you're looking at neutralizing fear, it's looking at the events that bring on that fear. So we all have different fears. So for mine it was rejection. So I had to go back to a time in my life when I faced rejection. So when I got released from Brighton.
Okay.
Right? And then...
So when do you mean go back? Go back and like visualize it, or what?
Think about it, visualize, meditate
Really?
on it, right?
Oh wow. Okay.
And you, in the universe, there's no good or bad. There's only perception.
Right.
So you've got a negative connotation to that event, right? So in order to neutralize that fear, you have to go back and look at, okay, what are the positives that came from it? If that didn't happen, what wouldn't I do now? What isn't the things that I would have done? So when you're listing these things out, and you can do like past, present, future again, if that comes up again, why is that a good thing? And then by going through this exercise, you're neutralizing that fear back into the present moment, where you're like, okay, so I know if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be doing what I do now. If I hadn't been released from Brighton, I would never have gone travelling.
Yep.
If I didn't go travelling, I wouldn't have broken free from the mentality I was in. And if I didn't break free from the mentality I was in, I would never got into personal development. If I never got into personal development, I would never start my business. And if I never start my business, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah. Okay.
So by changing the way that you see that event to neutralise it, that's when you can break free from the hold it has on you, so then you're no longer bound by that fear, and you can push through it.
And like, how long does that process take? Is that like an hour? Is it something you talk you're
It's
coached
something
with
you
for a
can spend
while?
5 hours on. It's something that you can do in 10 minutes, mate. Depending on the level of the fear, depending on the impact it's had on you.
Right.
Because there's like a charge to it might be a 10 out of 10. It was a fucking nightmare. Or it might just be something that's not that bad. Water touch with a girl. She looked at me in a weird way. Got rejected. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, obviously. Don't want it to happen again. But it's not really the end of the world.
Yeah.
Versus having my dreams as a footballer shattered. Quite a big deal.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you perceive the event to the level in which you need to really dig into it and process it, basically.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting. And all right, we want to wrap up quite soon. I want to ask your general advice about something.
Go on then.
I don't know how to phrase this without seeming harsh, so I'm just gonna.
Go on, mate.
I've spent like the past, not harsh to you by the way. I've spent the past 3 years like basically locked in my room doing e-commerce.
Yep.
And it was about maybe January. I decided to start. I wanted to grow like my network. I want to start meeting people, meeting like cool people.
Yep.
So at first I started going to loads of clubs. I pushed myself outside my comfort zone to say hello to everybody.
Yep.
Met loads of people. Blah, blah, blah. So at first the problem was how do I actually meet people and like make friends?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm kind of at a point like I'm confident I can go up to anyone and say hi and have like a nice normal conversation.
Yeah.
But the realization I'm starting to have is that maybe most people aren't really worth knowing in the sweetest possible way.
I understand.
And I feel like, how do you go about cultivating your personal network? It's something I've started only doing very recently.
Right, let's get into it then. So,
I don't mean online network. I mean physical, in-person network.
this all comes back to your values, mate.
Right.
Right. So, the people who you resonate with most have the same values as you. In an intimate relationship, in a friendship, right?
Yeah.
You have to share the same values. Me and you share the same value of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
We love business, right? We click.
It's hard to find people like that.
Yeah, but we resonate with each other. I understand you, you understand me because we have the same values, we have the same life experience in some sense.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you really need to get clear on is, okay, what are the interests? What interests do I have? Right, it might be football, it might be fitness, it might be badminton, fitness, entrepreneurship, and it might be video games, right?
Yep.
Something quirky, something that people, or like just something different, whatever it is. I used to be a big gamer as well. And then you look to, okay, so you know what you like. You know that in the environments that there's going to be people that you click with more. You might go to the gym and think, someone's sick at gaming, loves badminton, and has her own business. Sick, you're a sick guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Right? But you have to know yourself first.
Right.
There's no point putting yourself in situations that you fucking don't give a fuck about and be like, these aren't my people. So it goes like, from a self-awareness perspective, look at what you actually enjoy. Think about what you'd like to talk about to people. That we could talk all day. We're just men, right?
Yeah.
We're just men having this conversation because we like business.
Mm.
And looking at, okay, like I said, what interests do I have? Where do people go that have the same interests? There's loads of ways you could do it. There's loads of ways you can do it. But again, you just have to know your values, know what your interests are, and then go to places where they congregate. It's the same as the online world.
Interesting. Yeah.
People's behaviour is very similar as it is in the sense of people with the same interests will congregate together in real life or in online space.
Okay, got it. Would you say are most of your close friends business owners or not?
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
Obviously, I lived in Australia for 4 years.
Yeah.
And as I've changed...
Soon going to Bali as well.
Yeah. Well, Bali, one of the main reasons I'm going there, mate, is because
I don't know.
there will be so many people there that are going to be the same passions as me.
Yeah, loads of people in the online space go to Bali.
Love fitness, love the spirituality side of things, love the freedom lifestyle. And that's why I'm drawn there, because they're like my people. I don't know them yet, but I know that they've got the same interests.
I might have to come visit you.
Mate, do you, mate? 100%, man.
I want to, once I get my business stable, just hire someone to run the office from here, then I can just work from wherever the fuck I want.
That's the point, mate, isn't it? You work yourself out the roles that you... I think the whole point of business, mate, is making sure it's fun. If you lose the joy in the business, you're doing it wrong. And we were just speaking when we went for a break about flow state.
Yeah.
You should design your business to do the things that you love and only the things that you love. Because you can delegate and employ and design your business around working your way out of the roles that you don't enjoy so that you just do the things you love. The people at the top, the likes of Gary Vee, coaches, podcasts,
That's all he
deals
does.
with clients, does keynote speaks, loves it. Doesn't do stuff he doesn't like, he just pays someone else to do it. And then that's about leveraging your time, because time's the most valuable asset.
It's true. Yeah. In some ways, I'm jealous of you because you're doing a business you're truly passionate about, which is like helping people, basically. The stuff I sell, although I put a lot of work into it to make sure it's a really good product and I care about my customers, I'm not passionate about the product. But recently, I did. What do you think of this?
I saw that. I did see that. That's
You like it?
Yeah.
I'm slowly starting another art brand full of art I would actually hang in my own home.
Did you do? Is that all yours? Is it?
Yeah,
That's
I own the rights to it. Yeah.
That's sick. My brother and his business partner have got the Wolf of Wall Street on the Amex card.
I know that one.
They've got that in their room, and that's sick.
That's
Though.
it.
And again,
that's what I'm saying. This is the next brand I'm going to start. Art I'd actually hang in my own home.
and that right there.
I put so much more work in that, to be fair, than what I'm doing now. If not say I don't put a lot of work in now. So.
But this is it about you don't need to learn new skills. You've already got skills, mate. What you're doing now, you're just using the current skill set you have. You sell art, okay. Now I was going to sell my own art.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't need to. It doesn't need to be the thing. But you can look at your current skill set and create something from that current self into something that's passionate if you have the right perspective. Everything you've done, mate. Like I have no doubts whatsoever. You are going to build. You're going to be in a place where you love every single piece about your business. And
Oh yeah, I have faith in myself. And I'd say the same for you, but it seems like you're already there. You're about to go Bali, so.
yeah, man.
Yeah, perfect.
Exciting for both of us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the future is exciting. It annoys me when people say, "Oh, uni was the best days of my life," because that's such a depressing. The rest of your life is fucked. You're just condemning your next 40 years. For me, the future is so much more exciting than the past. Always.
Oh, mate. I met someone once, and like as a closing note, right? She had this amazing flat in Bondi, like 2-bedroom flat, looked over, and I was stood in the balcony. I was like, this is sick. I was like, if you never get better than this, like, at least you've got there. She's like, no, that's the wrong attitude. It can only get better.
Only get better, yeah. I like that.
And I was like, sick. It just expands. It just gets better and better.
Yeah.
The more you grow, and this is about the growth thing, the more you put yourself out there, all the experiences you can have get better. Because to do these experiences, you need money. We live in the real world. But in order to achieve that money in a proper way that's going to give you purpose and meaning, you have to come at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
But
Very true. All right, we'll close it there. I'll put all your Instagram you want.
Yeah.
Is that where people find you? I'll put that all in the description. I guess that was it. It's a pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah,
It was good
pleasure,
fun.
mate. Yeah, brilliant.
Fun.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
I'll end it there.